all the possible side effects of Amvuttra. For prescribing information, call 1-833-256-2748 or learn more at Amvuttra.com. Ask your doctor about Amvuttra for ATTR-CM.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle. This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Steve Kathan. We've just heard from President Trump about the new U.S. blockade on shipping to and from Iran in the Strait of Hormuz.
Right now, there's no fighting. Right now, we have a blockade. They're doing no business. I didn't like seeing boats come out if they were doing business with Iran, but if they weren't, no boats came out.
There's word at least 2 ships have been impacted by the blockade. CBS's Weijia Jiang says it all follows the failed round of peace talks in Pakistan over the weekend.
CBS News has learned there were a variety of things that went wrong. Chief among them, as the president said, Iran refused to give up its nuclear ambitions. And he has always said from the start that that was the main goal of attacking Iran in the first place. But according to our reporting, Iran would not agree to fully stop enriching uranium, which of course is a key material required to build a bomb.
Pope Leo, caught up in a war of words with President Trump, is now in Algeria.
Let us remember that God desires peace for every nation, a peace that is not merely an absence of conflict, but one that is an expression of justice and dignity.
Trump has blasted Leo as weak and too liberal in social media posts. CBS's Natalie Brand says one depiction went beyond words.
What's getting even more backlash is this AI-generated image seeming to depict President Trump as Jesus with a hand on a man's head. The president of Iran, reacting to these posts and this back and forth, posted this statement on social media saying he condemns the insult to the Pope and also declares that disrespect towards Jesus is unacceptable.
The White House says it will refile a defamation suit Trump brought against the Wall Street Journal and Rupert Murdoch over Jeffrey Epstein reporting. A federal judge dismissed it today. Overseas, it's the day after a dramatic defeat in Europe for a far-right prime minister.
I'm Vicky Barker at the Foreign Desk in London. Young Hungarians burst into song on a Budapest subway train, celebrating opposition leader Peter Magyar's landslide victory over Viktor Orban and his Christian nationalist Fidesz party. Filthy Fidesz, they're chanting, and Russians go home, a reference to Orban's courting of Russian President Vladimir Putin. Orban defeated after 16 years despite strong support from President Trump.
And checking Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 11 points. The S&P and NASDAQ are trading higher. This is CBS News.
What is going on?
What's going on here?
How is this possible? Great storytelling starts here.
Oh, come on.
Why? It's time for 60 Minutes.
Coming up, why a World Cup windfall may be less than expected for Seattle. But first, here's a look at traffic. We've got a crash on I-5 southbound, just south of Highway 18. That collision was blocking the HOV lane, but it looks like they are quickly clearing it. That still is backing traffic up, especially if you're on Highway 18 looking to merge south on I-5. Federal Way to Tacoma showing that delay. It is currently taking you 15 minutes versus the typical 9. Still delayed from Arlington to Everett. It's slowing right down by exit 202 in Marysville because of a crash. Looks like there's a disabled vehicle. It's on the tow truck, and things should be clearing up quickly if they haven't already, but you'll have some residual slowdown. Otherwise, fairly typical commute, slightly above average time heading from Linwood to Bellevue. There was a crash southbound right after Canyon Park, but that seems to have been cleared up fairly quickly. The lake bridges are looking good. No other issues heading into Seattle. Traffic brought to you by the KIRO Newsradio App. Text app to 888-973-5476 to download the KIRO Newsradio app. Listen to your favorite shows and get the latest news and updates sent straight to your phone.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning. I'm John Repp. Seattle business owners are preparing for a surge in visitors for the World Cup in June, but economic forecasters say the Iran conflict means less of a windfall for the city than they first predicted. New forecasts say that revenue will be about 10% lower than they first thought, and that's because fewer international tourists are expected to attend those 6 matches. The World Cup could still bring in more than $846 million and help create nearly 20,000 new jobs. Seattle city leaders say the latest economic conditions aren't quite as bad as forecasted due to churn and uncertainty because of layoffs and inflation, but budget experts say the outlook is essentially flat.
I'm glad that the forecast is about a wash because it's better than being negative, and I think we as the city need to be acting as if this is a negative revenue forecast.
Seattle City Council member Dan Strauss is urging fiscal caution. The city of Seattle still looking at a potential $150 million budget gap for next year. Pierce County Sheriff's deputies are looking for leads after a 37-year-old man was found shot and killed at a Puyallup apartment complex over the weekend. KIRO 7's Jake Chapman spoke with the victim's family.
2 children without their father and a mother without her son. Gone over nothing. A loving father of 2.
I got a hug from him. For some reason, I felt way more happier.
Gone in an instant.
He was the protector to all of my children, to all of my daughters, and now they no longer have a protector.
The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says they have identified a person of interest, but anyone with information should give them a call. And about 18 small earthquakes hit off the Washington coast yesterday morning. The U.S. Geological Survey says the first and biggest was a magnitude 4.2, about 240 miles west of Westport. The Pacific Northwest Seismic Network called it a active swarm, but seismologist Harold Tobin says there is no reason to worry. He tells the Seattle Times that quakes like these are not big enough to cause a tsunami. Taking a look at KIRO Newsradio weather. Got a lot of rain coming down, some scattered showers here and there, especially north of Seattle. Tomorrow, more of the same. Lots of rain and some possible thunderstorms on Wednesday. The high today, right around 55 degrees. Currently, it's 49 degrees and cloudy in downtown Seattle. I'm John Rapp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome to the Gee and Ursula Show, Monday edition. G is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. Good morning, Angela.
Good morning, Ursula. Thanks for having me.
It's always so fun to have you in studio with us. Hey, coming up at 10:30, buy now, pay later. Gen Z is showing up in some troubling trends, including falling into heavy debt. So what are we seeing amongst the youngsters? And I have a question for all of you. Have you noticed consumerism? Even though we talk about how expensive everything is, it feels like overconsumption is a real thing right now.
Yes, and I have some ideas about how that's happening or why that's happening.
Yeah, I do too.
Yes.
I think there's something psychologically going on.
Yep.
But anyway, we would love to hear from you. We know a lot of folks are on spring break. Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line, though, is open for you, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO.
What's new at 10?
And if you think about it, 50 years ago, if you met someone, found out they were married and they were a young couple in the Seattle area, you would not think anything of it. But today, that is an anomaly. And this is something that we can read in the Seattle Times. The latest census data shows that only 9% of the 390,000 18 to 25-year-olds who live in King, Pierce, and Snohomish counties are married as of 2024. And in the Seattle area, that's even smaller. There are only about 4,000 young couples in the city. And a lot of people want to say, well, yeah, it's because of Seattle and Washington being so expensive. But this is also in Boston. They have the fewest amount of young nuptials at only 3%, followed by San Francisco at 5%. Portland, Denver, Austin also are around 8%. So I'm curious. what you make of this, because obviously we talk about high cost of living. Younger people are just less concerned. I had a time frame in my mind, and for me, even getting married at the age of 28, I felt like I was on the older end.
Yeah.
I had my second child when I was turning 35.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, I'm getting up there. And my doctor even then said, actually, you're right on par with what's happening. We're just seeing more and more people waiting longer.
Yeah. No, I think this has less to do with cost of living, because we're not talking kids right here. We're talking just being a married couple, right? So in theory, two would be better than one in an expensive city. I think this is people not getting married. And so if you think about the young adults in your life, how many of them are married and what's driving it? I'm hearing stuff like, I'm trying to get to a spot in my career. Sometimes some of these kids did see a lot of divorce. So they're thinking, I don't see a point in getting married. I experienced divorce, but I'm not in that age range. So Sophia, you're part of that delegation.
We're talking about Sophia
I'm going to bring it.
Yes.
What does your delegation say about this?
Yeah, no, it's fascinating because it does definitely feel like an anomaly if you are married or considering getting married. And it's funny because this data is just showing 18 to 25 years old, which in my brain, I'm like, that feels like
so young.
That
it's
feels
very
like
young.
That feels like a teen marriage. Like, people would be like, feels like a teen pregnancy if you're 25. Like, that's what it feels like a little bit, just because the way we are now, it does not feel like we are in the position economically, lifestyle wise, to be considering that. I mean, I have a pair of friends that are married, but I think they got married at 26, and one of them is 29 and the other is 27, respectfully. And I was just talking about them recently to another one of my friends, and she was like, it's so crazy that they're married. I'm like, well, they were together for 4 years. She's like, yeah, but she's 28 and she's married. That feels so absurd to me.
Oh my
and to
God.
just have that concept, right? Because growing up, it was always like, oh yeah, 28 would be a great time to be married. Now I have friends that are close to 28 or older than 28. And they're like, yeah, can you imagine being married right now? I could never.
Okay, first of all, like, for someone to say that, they must think that marriage is not an asset. What is the thing that they're thinking, oh, let's delay that, no thanks?
I think it just feels so adult. It feels so settled. It feels like you have your life figured out. Which doesn't necessarily have to be the case. You don't have to have your life figured out to have a partner.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of the association. Like, I have to have my stuff figured out before I can share that with another person.
This is so true, though, because I was looking it up, and back in the 70s, the average age of first marriage was about 21 for women and 23 for men. And then it went to, today it's under 10% nationally. More and more people are also living together, getting and replacing marriage with cohabitating.
Mm-hmm.
That has exploded.
I would also say relationship milestones are coming later in life. Like, I just noticed that Mike in Portland texted that his girlfriend's 20-year-old son had never even been on a date. And I think, like, a lot of it is people meet people in high school and they marry their high school sweethearts. I know a lot of young adults that have never been in relationships at the age of 23, 24. Like, they've never even dated someone seriously. So the concept of being like, oh, I'm going to meet someone and then marry them feels very foreign.
And Rob wants to know, I want to know what Sophia thinks. How ick is the dating pool?
How ick is the dating pool? I mean, I think that's something that everyone, Robin P. just wants to hear what I think about the ick, because he knows that's the thing. But I mean, everyone knows that Seattle is not winning any awards in terms of the dating pool. But I also think it's just really the ability to meet people is just so hard, and everything feels so strung apart. And again, priorities right now, I think, is more like, let me get my life together, let me pay my credit card bill before I'm worried about meeting someone.
Sophia, is it and I'm going to ask Nick this, is it the ability to meet people, or is it that when you're out, people don't approach folks anymore? Like, does the guy approach the girl? Does the girl approach the girl? It just feels like there's, even watching teen dances, the asking out doesn't happen. Nick, what are your thoughts?
Well, I think the whole approaching someone like in a setting or a scene is kind of dead these days. Everything is pretty much online. I would say like 9 or 99 out of 100 people usually match online on a dating app or a site, and then they get together on a planned kind of outing, where they say they meet on a common place and time. And in talking about the subject of marriage and like trying to get together, like we're about to talk about Gen Z being in debt too. So it was much easier back in the day for people in their young 20s to have their life together at an earlier age and feel more comfortable to be taking the next step in terms of a relationship and marriage. Because right now, young people are just worried about, paying off their debt and being not underwater and
Here's what's
having to feed them.
I think you're really onto something though, and I think financial aspect is much bigger than we're realizing, because student debt is way higher right now.
But I had my husband and I, my ex, when I got married the first time, we both had student loan debt. But the mentality was at that time, being in the South, was that you grow up together. And so I think it's your concept of what so people felt like, oh yeah, we're not together, but then we get together and we figure it out. But I think the idea now is that relationships perhaps are more successful when you kind of have it together.
Yes. Well, here's a question. So one of the things that I read was that marriage used to be seen as a starting point for adulthood, but now it's seen more as a capstone.
That's it.
Like something you do after you got your career goals. Would you say that's?
I think that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially when we're talking about the job market being so difficult and career aspirations starting so later in life. It's not like you graduate college and then you're kind of going into the career that you want to. I know so many people that are like, well, I've been applying to jobs for over a year and I can't find anything, right? And so it feels counterintuitive to be like, I'm going to find the person that I'm going to spend my life with when I don't even know what my life is.
Yeah. I have a question for you. Does this sound foreign? So my first boyfriend, we met because I was in the mall and he just came up to me in the mall and said, "Hi, I'm so-and-so. You're beautiful. I would love to." Does that sound like anything that would happen in your delegation now?
No, because these days people would... I don't want to say either women or men, but it would be considered ick at this point, if like, oh, this person's approaching me out of random. What the heck's going on here?
Really?
It happens, but I don't think anyone ever takes it seriously in that regard. If it's like a mall, yeah, I can't even imagine meeting someone.
I met my husband at a bar at Polyesters.
But those are the best stories. Like, I really do hope that's still alive in some capacity. I do think it's very bleak, and there's a lot of cynicism about, like, only meeting people online, and there's no way to meet people in the real. I really hope I don't meet my future husband on the internet. I really pray to the world that's not how I'm. Yeah, I don't.
But he's going to have to, he or she will have to approach you. They will have to approach you, though. If you don't meet them on the internet, you'll have to.
You're just hoping it happens organically.
Like at a party.
Somewhere at work.
To be honest, though, you're hoping for an anomaly, I think.
No, I'm so aware of that. I just think it's so depressing the way it's operating now. But I do think it's possible. Like, like my roommate met her boyfriend in the real world. There's still ways to meet people out in the wild.
Yes.
It's just different.
Yeah. Someone said they think the big reason is because living together is standard procedure. So that's an interesting one.
Well, that's also become a big thing too.
All right. Well, you know the saying, first comes love, then come marriage. First comes love, then comes marriage, right?
Well, there's a lot of couples who don't consider like marriage to be a necessity. Like my sister, for example, I don't even know if she intends on getting married, but she lives with her boyfriend and they seem to be fine right now. And it doesn't seem like marriage is like a need, in terms of what they want to do, because for a lot of people, kids these days is kind of a burden in terms of like, we're always talking about the expenses of living these days, and kids doesn't seem as much of a benefit as it was back in the day.
Man, I love a good segue. So thank you, Nick. That's what we're going to talk about. This study showing the true cost of childcare. According to LendingTree, the average cost of raising a child to 18 over $300,000. And I think it's way more than that.
Yeah, that's low.
Washington isn't too far behind the national average, with the report estimating $297,000. Okay. The most expensive place, Hawaii, $400,000. The report estimates these spikes have to do with rent, clothing costs, and child care. According to King 5, child care and housing costs are skyrocketing. In Seattle alone, there's been a 15% increase in just 1 year. In 1 year. Childcare, if you have an infant, for example, you could end up paying a couple of $1,000s a month. So do you have any recommendations for new parents as they navigate this? Ask Ursula.
Well, the reality for me is that I was very fortunate that both sets of grandparents lived in the area. And the amount of money that saved me was incredible. Not to mention not having. And do I have advice? before you even have kids, you want to scope out where you're going to be dealing and putting your kids into childcare. The wait lists are long. And I think you have to also do a calculation as to, is it worth it for you to be working, sadly, outside of the house where you require childcare? Because sometimes your childcare can be more than what you're bringing in.
That was actually going to be my point. And I remember we had a babysitter years ago, and she and her husband got married, and they made the decision to move to a cheaper state where family was. So they moved to Ohio, where they had family nearby. They could buy a house and live a good life. And so I think being prepared to make those tough decisions, do we go closer to grandparents? Does someone stay home? And especially if you look at the benefit, the money, let's say, isn't that big of a difference.
Yes.
Then the benefit of you being there with the kid or someone being there with the child is huge.
It is. And for example, families are paying, in many cases, $2,000 to $3,000 a month per child.
You know what really is hurting my heart right now? I just have to pause and say this. So Nick made a comment. You were saying that as a couple, when you look at the prospect of having kids, you kind of feel like, what's the benefit of this?
I think their immediate thought for young people is like, oh, that's just going to cost me more money. Because Ursula was just mentioning one kid per month, $2,000 to $3,000.
Yes,
that's more than a second mortgage right there.
And if you're stressed, it's hard to be your best self for your child. Because you bring that stress to them. At the same time, I try to tell my kids, because I do think that younger people are facing so many financial barriers, that I hope they see that raising a child, for me, it's been a beautiful thing.
Yes.
Like, I would not trade it. Best thing that ever happened to me.
Yes.
Sorry, a sneeze was coming, and I was like, wait, I have to sneeze. And then I guess I was too scared.
But yes.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I don't want young people to hear that just the downside of it, that there's an upside too, that it's beautiful to watch them grow and see their personalities. And it's a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. No, absolutely. And I will say it's the best thing that I've ever done. It's the most important job I've ever had. It's the thing that I am most proud of. It's the ultimately what I hope to be remembered was that I was a great mom. And so when I hear of people both saying, you know what, I just don't know that I can do it because of expenses or because I don't want to bring a child into this world right now. I mean, the reality is the U.S. birth rate is near a record low. So people are having fewer kids these days.
Yeah.
And that kind of breaks my heart.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Yeah,
it does. I totally agree with you.
And on that note, with young people already, having trouble getting a decent pay or even a job for that matter, and seeing their outlook on life, it's really hard for them to have the mindset of how is it going to be better for people that I bring into this life versus what I'm going through right now. So you have to keep that in mind as well.
Layla just texted in and said, I asked my son, are you going to have a kid? And he said, Mom, I can barely feed myself. What do you want from me? Yeah. I mean, and I have these conversations. I try to tread lightly because some listeners correctly pointed out that I cannot put pressure on my own sons, even though I know that they both want to get married. They both want to have kids. But it's not going to be under the time frame I want. I look so forward to having grandkids, but I may be waiting a very long time.
I know,
and I have to
that's
be
what
okay
I'm realizing.
With that.
That's what I'm realizing. My parents and my great grandmother, I mean, they've been able to enjoy it because my mom had her first kid at 18 and the other one in the 20s. So it's a little bit sad, but I get it.
But I think a good solution to this maybe issue that we might be talking about is like families, if they have the means, if like people who want to become grandparents like Ursula, if they have the means to take care of the kids that their own children might want to bring in, I think the older people need to make it clear that we will help you through these raising the kids. It's not going to be all on your own. And if it's all in the family, maybe perhaps younger people might become more confident if they have the support from their own parents to bring kids into the world.
Nick, you are so wise. And yes, that is the message that I give both boys. So.
And remember, that came up in the mayoral race because our mayor's mother or parents were paying for her child care.
That's true.
And so I think it's a good example of families sticking together and working together. I love it. Beautifully said, Nick.
Okay, still ahead that we are going to talk about... We just got done talking about money. Now we're going to talk about this new way of getting into debt for Gen Z. But we're also going to talk about overconsumption.
Yes.
Like, are you guilty of it? Text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. We both have theories as to why it seems like more people are buying more these days. Okay, stay with us.
The John Curley Show.
I can't wait till I get a little older, be the really crotchety old guy, getting close to being eccentric. As my mom used to say, I don't make enough money to be eccentric. I'm just middle-class crazy right now.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, accurate auto body.
Oil isn't the only resource hit hard by global events. American farmers are sounding the alarm by fertilizer prices at planting season. Will this disrupt our food supply? Raising prices cause shortages? I'm not waiting to find out, and neither should you. Go to mypatriotsupply.com, get a 3-month emergency food supply. They'll include $200 worth of extra survival protein absolutely free. After serving more than 3 million American families since 2008, you can trust mypatriotsupply.com. Go to mypatriotsupply.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Are you stuck staring at your W-2? Are tax refund worries holding you back? You probably have FOMO, the fear of messing up. The fix? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They find every credit and deduction to help you get every refund dollar you deserve, or your money back. It's time to overcome your fear of messing up and get your taxes done right. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
A multi-billion-dollar settlement is paying claims for up to 21 years. If you were exposed to weed killers at work or at home, your rights are affected. If you or your family has or had non-Hodgkin lymphoma, you could receive $6,000 to $165,000 or more. This settlement impacts you even if you're not sick, because this blood cancer can take 10 to 15 years to appear. If you stay in the settlement, you give up your right to sue. Learn more at weedkillerclass.com or call 888-403-8201. Paid for by the Roundup Settlement.
What if you could have the most reliable Wi-Fi? And get this, what if you could keep it at the same price for 5 years? That's the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Just 5 years of fiber-powered Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to the devices that need them most. That finds and fixes problems before you even notice them. Like super intelligent Wi-Fi with a 6th sense. And that keeps you gaming in the fast lane, even when the whole family's banking on bandwidth. And here's the best part. No annual contracts, no hidden fees, and our best equipment included. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi. Hey, let's face it, a lot can change in 5 years. Kids grow taller, dreams grow bigger, but your Wi-Fi, it would stay reliable and the price would stay put. The Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Select plans only. Restrictions apply. Powered by fiber. Connected to the premises by coaxial cable. Actual speeds vary.
Home is more than a place to live. It's where the best of life unfolds, where possibility sparks, where community grows, where lives take shape. At the Master Builders Association of King and Snohomish Counties, that belief drives the work our builders, remodelers, and tradespeople do every day. Because when we build more homes, we're building so much more than housing. We're making room for what matters most. Learn more at roomforwhatmatters.com.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
You can count on trusted local news and information from the Seattle Times, one of the few independent, locally owned news organizations in the country, right here in the Pacific Northwest. Subscribe today and don't miss a beat at seattletime.com/subscribe.
Are you curious about who offers the best deals on top-rated Samsung, LG, and Sony TVs? The answer is surprising. It's not online, and it's not the warehouse clubs. The best deals on top-rated TVs are at Video Only. Don't believe it? Then check out the trade-in deals at Video Only. How about $500 for your old TV? Try doing that online. Before you buy that new TV, drop into Video Only. If you don't, you'll be sorry.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. Now hours into the U.S. Navy's blockade of major ships going into or out of the Strait of Hormuz, a pressure tactic on Iran. CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson has details on how it's playing out so far.
The president on Truth Social just recently said that 34 tankers went through yesterday on Sunday, but the traffic before the conflict began was about 120, 130 tankers.
President Donald Trump has just held a news briefing outside the Oval Office after accepting a McDonald's delivery. He was asked about the AI picture that depicts him as Jesus.
It wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support.
He has deleted that post. It received widespread criticism from both Democrat and Republican lawmakers. Republican Congressman Don Bacon calling it juvenile. California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell has ended his run for governor, an effort which had him in front with revelations of sexual misconduct from at least 4 women in recent days. CBS News congressional correspondent Caitlin Huey-Burns says the House will likely try to expel him.
You could have a situation in which 2 members are potentially expelled. There is a call to not only bring up an expulsion referendum for Eric Swalwell, but also to bring one up for Tony Gonzalez, the Texas Republican congressman who had been alleged to have been having an affair and with a staffer who later died by suicide.
The conflict with Iran is dampening tourism demand here in the Pacific Northwest.
Visit Seattle says the 6 World Cup matches here will still bring in up to $846 million and create 20,000 jobs. However, tourism officials are expecting a nearly 10% drop in revenue for shops, hotels, and restaurants, according to the Seattle Times. Congressman Adam Smith tells CNN the big sticking point is negotiations between the U.S. and Iran in Iran's nuclear capabilities.
You look at Trump's 15 points and Iran's 10 points, they could not possibly be further apart.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
And Washington residents may have just a little more time to file their taxes. The IRS says taxpayers now have until May 1st to file due to storms and high winds that caused flooding and mudslides and a disaster declaration for many counties in the Puget Sound back in December. On Wall Street, the Dow creeping up just barely. It's up 22 points. Well, back down again, 38 points. It's kind of been a roller coaster. The NASDAQ is up 122 points. The S&P 500 up 22 points. KIRO News Radio traffic. Alderwood to South Center via 405. It is 49 minutes, well above the typical 36. It is somewhat better on I-5, but still some delays there. 38 minutes from Linwood to South Center. That earlier incident over by Auburn on Highway 18 seems to have largely been cleared. Still some scattered delays here and there, but all in all, you're looking pretty good. The traffic report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org. Taking a look at your weather forecast, Yeah, cloudy skies, maybe a little bit more rain, scattered showers throughout the day, tapering off into the afternoon, but more rain tomorrow into Wednesday when we could see some thunderstorms. The high today, 55 degrees. Currently, we're looking at 50 degrees in downtown Seattle and low clouds. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio Northwest News.
Welcome back to the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. And you know that old saying, if you can't afford it, don't buy it? Well, it has officially left the chat. Buy now, pay later is booming again, but it has a glow up. And we're talking about Klarna and Afterpay, these slick apps, these easy clicks, and the promise that you only need to have a little bit of money to get what you want right now. Sadly, though, the bills always come due. So there's this recent survey for Credit Karma that found more than half of Gen Z and millennials have missed at least one payment on these plans compared to just 22% of Gen X. And on TikTok, the hashtag Buy Now, Pay Later has racked up tens of millions of views, pushing the idea that if you want it, just get it. Don't think about the total, just think about the monthly. And I want to talk about that, but I actually want to talk more about this whole idea of consumption and overconsumption.
Yes.
Because I will say that to some degree, I am guilty of it right now. Y'all know I talk about it ad nauseum, my new perfume collecting thing that I'm in. So I'm in these spaces on social media where I see that as bad as I think I have it, there are people who are serious hoarders and serious collectors. And then when time gets, I mean, like if there's an emergency, they'll be like, I need to sell off these things. And I'm curious if you've seen some of the same, where I'm like, as bad as the economy is right now, we seem to have a real consumption problem.
I think what I noticed is that social media at one point was about, you're connecting with friends, you're following the celebrities or your influencers, but all of a sudden businesses realized, wait, we have an opportunity here. We have people's attention. They're there connecting with friends. And now, I mean, I can't.
It's so true.
All the products that are advertised as you scroll and they look like influencers, or it looks, and then sometimes they'll even have fake videos of celebrities like touting these products. So I think the number of hours we are spending on social media, we are being marketed to constantly. Okay, you and Sophia are giggling.
We're giggling because last week, it was on Friday, she asked me to look at my social media usage, or no, my phone usage, how much I was online. And the number, and I swear to God, I started looking into it, and it was inflated because a few apps were open all the time. But according to that, I was like, according to what I saw, it was like close to half my day was spent online. No, that's not the case. However,
Sophia's
I will say that if I even did a fraction, so let's cut it in half. That much time scrolling around and seeing people sell this, sell that, and that's me. And I know, I'm very conscious and conscientious about it. But I mean, if you're not thinking about it, how easy it is to just, okay, well, they make it real easy to pay.
Yeah. I mean, and even think about, you brought up influencers and how it used to just be scrolling through social media for fun, and now everything is selling. It makes me think about Coachella, because it's Coachella season, and we had weekend 1 this past weekend, and weekend 2 is coming up. Just the way that everything you scroll through is an influencer at Coachella who is being sponsored by a brand or a company to be there. And just to think about the way things evolved, Coachella as a music festival was supposed to be kind of like this grassroots festival. It started as a protest to Ticketmaster fees, and now it's
a thing.
It's over $1,000 for a regular person to attend, and influencers are just showing up and, repping brands in exchange, and it feels so foreign. And young people are using things like Afterpay to try to be there and try to be with these influencers and what they're told to do.
So tell me this regarding the Afterpay. Can you, because when we did layaway back in the day, you could, you don't get the item yet.
No.
You pay and then you get the item once it's paid. But the way this works, you can get the item now, right? And pay later?
Yes, that's my understanding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I mean, you had said I think it was you telling us previously, like, if there's certain things that you can pay back, like a concert ticket or whatever, small, you feel like that's, I mean, I'm not judging because I've done the same thing. I'm just.
Yeah, I try not to use Afterpay services because I just think that's a bad habit to get into. We talked about it on the show one time a couple months ago, and I think it's one of those things that unfortunately it can be addictive because it's part of that FOMO, that fear of missing out.
That's exactly.
I know someone who did use Afterpay for Coachella, and they kind of lay it out like, oh, pay $20 now, and that mentality thing, like you were saying, Ursula, of. Even like in my brain, I'm like, ooh, take coffee, for example. Spending $50 on a bag of coffee beans feels like, ooh, but I'll spend $7 on a latte every weekend and not bat an eye. And it's just kind of like small percentages feel less impactful.
But so back to what is driving this overconsumption. And I think to some degree, because it has been made so easy, that's one thing. But the other thing is we talk about needing connection and needing that a feeling of filling of this emptiness. And I think for a lot of people, that fills this kind of emptiness that comes, whether it's, a life change or the death of a loved one, or kids are off to college now and I've got more time and I'm just buying these things that, remember the whole Labubu craze? The number of adults I knew that were getting into that thing. I mean, my own perfume collecting, I would say, do I need all the bottles that I have? No. But I think it's to some degree filling, some part of me that is feeling like, does that make sense? Like,
yeah, I'm curious, like if you were to dig deeper, what do you think it is with the perfume collecting? A
lot of it is memories of my mom because that's when it started and she loved it. But I think everybody has their own reasons why they're doing this. But the number of people I'm also seeing buying, and then getting into trouble and then saying, I've got to do a major resell of these things that I've bought. It kind of it hurts my heart.
Yeah.
To see that. But you were saying that you had a
here's what's different than, my generation versus, Sophia, Nick. It used to be we only knew what our neighbors were doing or our friends. So there was the comparison was just the people in your immediate circle. Now you can see what everybody is doing. And you think, oh my gosh, they're my age and they're at Coachella every year. Oh my gosh. For me, it was the spring break. It was seeing everyone on their extravagant spring break trips while we're sitting doing. And so then you start feeling, I don't even know that we're conscious of it all the time, but you start feeling like I should be doing that too, right? Not knowing how they're paying for it, but you're just assuming that they just had the money and somehow I have not done well in life.
And to that point, Angela, there's the element of social media now these days, aside from just your inner circle of friends, where you can just see everybody who posts, not the downsides of their life. They're always posting their best lives, whether they're at concerts or at parties or at spring break. And it's the FOMO that's being put on steroids now these days, where you're thinking, oh, why am I not doing that? Why is my life not as fun as that over there? So there's that pressure.
Yes, I think you're right. And someone was asking, well, what's the difference between this Afterpay and the credit card? There's no hard credit check to sign up. So it's a lot easier to get that and to do those 4 monthly installments, but it's a lot easier to get in trouble too.
And I will say, I know a lot of young people who don't want credit cards because they're afraid of finding themselves in credit card debt or not being able to keep up with that. But Afterpay seems more alluring because they're like, well, I can just pay with what I have in my bank account right now and keep up with that, which is interesting.
But be warned, because it doesn't help your credit history. Right now, U.S. credit card debt is over $1 trillion in this country. It's a record high.
It's a record high.
Yeah, or it's close to a record high. Yeah.
Yeah, but you can't keep, like the economy, we keep looking at the stock market and things are going okay. And it's like the numbers, the math isn't mathing on gas and groceries.
Yes.
At some point, the illusion is going to be revealed.
Yes. So true. So true. Okay, still ahead, we do scenarios. That's next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
The The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500-pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
Nick, you know what's a great thing about going to Longevity Medical Clinic as a couple?
Oh, I absolutely do. When they tell you to do something, you actually do it.
Right. And the same thing with you. When they tell you to do it, because for some reason, when I tell you to do it, you're like, whoa.
I just walk away and roll my eyes.
Exactly. But the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic, the doctors there know, because we do the blood draw and they look and they can see. They know. They hold us accountable.
Yeah, when I'm under pressure and I know I'm coming in, I know I have to work the program.
Right. Plus, we also want to hold each other accountable for how we take care of ourselves because, you know, we want to have a long, healthy, happy life.
I know. I want every day to torture you as long as I possibly can.
Well, I look forward to it. Here's the great thing about Longevity Medical Clinic. They're working with you. They're holding you accountable because they want you to have a long, healthy, happy life. I was a patient at Longevity long before I started doing these commercials. So get your free health analysis. Go to lmclinic.com. That's lmclinic.com.
You could file your taxes on a basic free service, which is fine. But are you okay with fine? Because when it's your money on the line, do you really want to guess if you missed a credit or hope the math is right? Get the confidence of TurboTax for free right on the Intuit Credit Karma app. Free Fed and free state for simple 1040s only. Around 37% of filers qualify. See details at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for EITC, CTC, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime.
Our entry-level data plans start at just $20 a month. And for a limited time, switch and get your second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com or a store near you and get your second month free today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. See site for additional details.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with zero investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
If you're hurt in a car accident, call Harold Car Law Offices right away. They'll save you time and get you more money from insurance while you're able to focus on recovering. Visit carlaw.com. 2 R's in car. Car accident? Call CAR.
Families across Western Washington voted Aegis Living Best Senior Living Community, and Seniorly ranked them #1 in America. See why. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
When it comes to financial planning, women often face different realities. For some, years were spent caregiving or raising children. Others were growing careers. Yet so often, investments and tax decisions were set aside or handled by someone else. And statistically, women live longer. Over the next 20 years, trillions will transfer to women only after the loss of a spouse. And suddenly, they're expected to make these complex decisions alone. That's why I created Growing Her Wealth. I'm Danielle Meister, a wealth advisor at Madrona Financial and CPAs. This initiative was built to empower women and integrate investments, tax strategy, and estate planning all under one roof. This is for men as well, husbands and wives, to ensure a coordinated long-term plan. It's about elevating family stewardship. If you or someone you love wants thoughtful guidance in a professional, supportive environment, join me at an upcoming seminar or webinar. Visit growingherwealth.com to reserve your seat today. Growing Her Wealth, financial confidence on your terms.
Madrona Financial Services is an SEC registered investment advisor.
The deadline for filing taxes is coming up. Donate your car to Cars for Kids for a 2026 tax deduction. Go to carsforkids.org today. That's Cars with a K.
And it is time for us to do scenarios.
Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario?
Okay, so I dated my ex for several years, but we broke up about 2 years ago, and we have both moved on with our lives. Recently, I ran into his mom by chance, and we ended up catching up over coffee. That one meeting turned into a regular thing. We genuinely enjoyed each other's company and have built our own friendship, separate from my past relationship. The problem is my ex recently found out and says it's inappropriate and uncomfortable for him. He reached out just to tell me he wants me to ghost his mom. But the thing is, it has nothing to do with him. We don't even talk about him. I told him I never intended to cross any boundaries, but if he really has an issue, he should talk to his mom and not expect me to ignore her. He told me he couldn't because he knows how badly his mom yearns for a daughter-in-law relationship. And when he does start dating someone, it's going to be awkward to replace me. I think he's being dramatic and the friendship is harmless, but am I in the wrong here? Do I owe it to my ex to stop seeing his mom?
I'll let Angela start.
No, you don't. I think that he has a valid point and valid concerns. 100%. I don't think it's cool that it kind of went that direction. But I think he should talk to his mom.
Yes.
And say, Mom, I feel really uncomfortable with this. And let her know how you feel. And if she continues to do that, that's her choice. And maybe in the future, you may not introduce to mom until a little bit later if that's what's going to happen. But I've heard of these stories before. Have you heard of this before?
Not only have I heard of it, but I've actually lived some of it.
You're the one that makes friends.
Yes. So it's just why I tell my sons, is like, would you not make it so that I end up loving these women that you are dating? Mm-hmm. And if it doesn't work out, then I have to have a breakup too? So there was one particular case. Now, I will say that the person I would touch base with, this was no one that I ever wanted him to continue to be in a relationship. I didn't think it was a relationship that was good. But I truly was concerned about her and cared for her and didn't want to just cut that off. So I asked if it was okay that I would check in on her every once in a while.
Well, that's appropriate. That's good. You were transparent about it.
Yes.
Versus this guy who just found out
that mom is that's never going to work out well. But I think you nailed it, Angela, in that he really needs to talk to the mom. Mm-hmm. And to ask his ex to ghost his mom, I mean, that feels icky.
Yes.
That's not kind. That's not something that I would want. You know, and maybe secretly she does want. Does it seem like she wants to get back together with this guy?
I mean, I'm not sure about that. It seems like she just wants to be friends with the mom.
Yes.
Like, I know a lot of people in my life that are like, yeah, the worst part about breaking up with him was, like, I don't get to see his mom anymore.
Yes.
Like, I know so many people feel that way. Like, they get really connected to the family.
Yes.
And it's heartbreaking.
That was my first relationship when I was 19, 20.
Yes.
I mean, loved the family. They loved me.
Yes.
And we just could not figure it out.
Well, it might be easier, too, to have that relationship if he has another relationship.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? I mean, if he's moved on and he's moved on to another woman and the mom's not pining away for this particular, ex to be a potential daughter-in-law, then it might make it
Yeah, and I think the
easier.
concern is that, but it's also the concern is if they stay friends, it's intimidating for a new partner to be like, oh, your mom is so close.
Ends up being weird.
And the mom has to respect that.
And I mean,
but
you
have
see
the
that all the
conversation.
time.
Have the conversation with mom.
Okay.
For sure.
All right, so is this where we see what Nick thinks?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I will say it's not the most conventional friendship for the ex to be hanging on, staying in touch with only the mom and not the guy. Not that there's anything wrong with that, however, but for the sake of the guy who's feeling down about what his mom is doing, I would say I'd follow through with cutting ties with the ex and respect the feelings of him, because at the end of the day, I feel like there really is not going to be much that comes out of the friendship other than just making the guy feel bad. So I would just end it and even have the guy, drive up for the girl and end it for her. I'll take you there. So because it just doesn't feel right to me. I don't know. The guy doesn't deserve to go through that for the girl's sake.
Paul on the 253 says, this must be a women problem. I've never heard of this with a dude.
It's, you know what? You make a good point.
I think there is a point there. Yeah, I think to some degree, I mean,
I don't know about any dads that would secretly meet with their son's ex, or vice for daughters.
No, I feel like it's harder for them to get close in that regard. I think for women, there's just like this kinship that happens, right?
Yes.
And obviously you hear about the horror stories, like I don't like my mother-in-law, but for the most part, if it's a good thing, you connect. You connect. It's like a mom and daughter thing, and I think it's hard to explain that because it's like you have this feminine relationship that then just disappears. It's like losing a friend.
But unfortunately, that is something that happens with breakups, and mom's going to have to understand that ultimately. Okay, still ahead, we are going to get into the 11 o'clock hour, and we're going to talk about college admissions and something that almost half of all college students say they have seriously considered because of AI. So we'll have that and more coming up next on the Gee and Ursula Show.
The Jake and Spike Show.
I check it late at night when my wife's not looking.
Weekdays, noon to 3.
My favorite thing on my phone, which is my weather app.
First thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
On KIRO News Radio, on 97.3 FM, and the KIRO Newsradio App.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and you know what they say, April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters. However, Valentine Roofing, they've got you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. Schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Summer's right around the corner. Can you say World Series? I don't want to jinx anybody. And I don't want to jinx that heating system or cooling system that you have, but it could possibly out at home. So the best thing to do right now is to replace the system. You want it done right and done fast. Upgrade your cooling now with Home Comfort Alliance. Their 60-second online price estimator makes it so easy. Upgrade to a Lennox cooling system and get a new heating system free. Plus available utility rebates. Visit homecomfortalliance.com today.
KIRO FM and HD1, Tacoma, Seattle. Have something to say? We'd love to hear it. Text KIRO News Radio at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
From posters and presentations to labels and loyalty cards, Staples has all the print to boost your brand. Shop now in store and online. Staples, that was easy.
At the Boy Scouts of America, our oath remains. A scout pledges to be kind, helpful, and brave. We're committed to providing a safe and welcoming environment where Scouts can establish the foundations of character that will last a lifetime. Our approach ensures the Boy Scouts of America is building the youth of today into the leaders we'll turn to tomorrow. The Boy Scouts of America. Building character is in our nature. Visit scouting.org to learn more about Scouting.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. Northwest News.
When the dollar's convertibility into gold ended in 1971, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce. Fast forward to today, and the U.S. dollar has lost over 85% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold has increased in value by over 12,000%. Central banks are buying gold at record levels. Major firms are holding significant positions in gold. And I choose to buy gold from Birch Gold Group. Stan Bongino, and it all starts with education. Birch Gold just announced their Learn and Earn Precious Metals event. This free online event rewards you for learning the basics of investing in precious metals. Sign up to get free silver on your next purchase if you qualify. And you can get even larger incentives as you go. The more you learn, the more you can earn. But act now. This special event only runs through April 30th. So text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to join Birch Gold's Learn and Earn Precious Metals event by April 30th. Text Dan to 989898 today. Message and data rates may apply.
Owie, wowie.
What's with the
water heater's worn out?
Way less hot water?
Takes a lot longer, too.
Sounds like a goner.
Worst of all,
what?
Wasn't planning on it.
We can help.
Apollo Plumbing.
Ready right now to get you
in hot water.
Same day.
Not this day. My budget.
How about with easy payments?
How much easy?
Around $50 a month with approved credit.
A new water heater?
50 gallons of 100% hot water delight.
For about $50 a month.
51, 52 to be precise.
And you can do it
today, if that's what you need.
Is it ever?
Apollo installs new ones with code upgrades.
Can't beat that.
Actually, I can.
What?
Your same-day water heater replacement includes Wrenchy's worry-free warranty.
Which means?
Apollo Plumbing covers your new water heater for life.
You mean should it ever wear out?
Apollo Plumbing replaces it free.
And if it needs service?
Service is included for our A-list members.
Wow!
Your new water heater is ready
right now
at apolloplumbing.com.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma, Seattle. Northwest News. This is CBS News on the Hour. Your home for original reporting.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper. After failed peace talks in Pakistan over the weekend, President Trump says a blockade of the Strait of Hormuz is underway.
They're doing no business. I didn't like seeing boats come out if they were doing business with Iran, but if they weren't, no boats came out.
More from CBS News Pentagon reporter Eleanor Watson.
The destroyers specifically can defend against aerial threats, think missiles and drones, and then the aircraft carrier, the Lincoln, can serve as really a base of operations as well as a pretty large intimidation factor to discourage anyone from breaking that blockade.
Pope Leo XIV is in Algeria on an 11-day tour of Africa. CBS's Chris Livesay is traveling with the Pope.
Africa is where there's the fastest growth in the Catholic Church right now. So it's the global South in general. We see it elsewhere in, say, Latin America. We see it in Asia as well. But we're really seeing growth in the Catholic Church.
President Trump on social media calls Pope Leo weak on crime and terrible for foreign policy. Leo has been critical of the war in Iran and made statements at odds with other priorities of the Trump administration. In addressing the president's comments, Pope Leo says his comments are not meant as attacks on anyone. As far as the posting of a picture online appearing to depict President Trump as Jesus, he insists
It wasn't depicted. It was me. I did post it, and I thought it was me as a doctor and had to do with Red Cross as a Red Cross worker there, which we support.
The post has been deleted. Just coming in, the House Ethics Committee is launching an investigation into California Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell, who has ended his run for governor after allegations of sexual misconduct from at least 4 women. CBS's Caitlin Huey-Burns reports.
Even though the congressman has dropped out of the California race, there is a big question about whether he will continue to serve here in Congress and whether he has criminal liabilities coming down the pike.
In the middle of the spring home buying season, White House economists say the U.S. has a significant housing shortage. More from CBS's Michael Toscano.
It's 10 million homes, according to the White House Council of Economic Advisors. Their annual report says reducing the cost of home building regulations could add as many as 13 million homes to the supply by lowering the cost of construction. And that, they say, could lead to savings for buyers. The analysis notes home prices have risen 82% since 2000, while incomes are up just 12%.
In Minnesota, the Ramsey County attorney and the sheriff are investigating the arrest of federal officers of a Hmong American man as a potential case of kidnapping, burglary, and false imprisonment. On Wall Street, stocks are up. This is CBS News.
It's one of the most successful law and justice programs in television history that continues to uncover the truth. 48 Hours, Saturday on CBS and streaming on Paramount+.
We're learning more about a triple stabbing reported in Everett. Details just ahead. But first, taking a look at KIRO News Radio traffic. Traffic's not great, but not terrible in a lot of places that were causing problems earlier this morning. The exception is a trouble spot on southbound 405 in Bothell, right at Canyon Park. That on-ramp from 527, super slow. That means from Linwood to South Center, you're looking at 47 minutes compared to the typical 31. I-5 is the better bet if you're heading from Linwood to South Center, slightly delayed at 36 minutes. Everett to Seattle is showing a slight delay as well, but nothing you can't handle, about a 5-minute delay. And some slowdowns from Woodinville heading to Seattle as well, just a few minutes. But both lake bridges look pretty good right now. This traffic report brought to you by Global Credit Union. Global Credit Union, where members enjoy no-fee accounts and early payday with direct deposit. Learn more at globalcu.org.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. A developing story. Authorities are investigating a triple stabbing in Everett. KIRO News Radio's Frank Lindsay reports.
Just before 9 a.m., deputies went to check out a report of a burglary in the 1200 block of 112th Street Southwest in Everett. A 24-year-old man had knocked, and when no one opened the door, deputies say he forced his way in and started stabbing people. Residents were able to hold on to the guy until deputies arrived. 2 of the 3 people who got stabbed were rushed to Providence Medical Center. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
King County prosecutors are pushing back on critics who claim they're not making a dent in Seattle's open-air drug markets. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports they're pointing to a recent conviction as proof they're working on it.
A judge sentenced Viet Nguyen to 45 months in jail after 2 drug charges involving meth and fentanyl in an open-air drug market in the Chinatown International District. It's proof. Spokesperson Casey McNerthney says they're doing everything they can. Problem is, fentanyl is cheap and there's a lot of it.
It's so addicting. It's so easy to get. It's so cheap. It's coming into every county at such volumes. That's what the concern is.
McNerthney tells me the problem is far from being solved, but they want people to know they're not ignoring it either. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
State Superintendent Chris Rakedahl says it's time for Washington to catch up and ban cell phones in the classrooms, asking lawmakers to adopt a statewide standard instead of just studying the issue. Right now, 27 other states require phones to be kept away during instructional time. Rakedahl tells TVW.
Common thread is that this really does work. It's not perfect, but students tell us, you know what I did at lunch? I talked to my peers.
A bill to restrict phones in Washington schools failed to pass over the last 2 legislative sessions. And economic forecasters say the World Cup will provide a smaller boost for the Seattle region, in part because of the Iran conflict. Tourism officials expect a nearly 10% drop for shops, hotels, and restaurants compared to their previous estimates, according to the Seattle Times. KIRO News Radio weather. Rain showers letting up briefly this afternoon. Clouds will stick around, the high of 55 degrees, and the rain returns tomorrow. Cooler, the high of 49. Thunderstorms possible Wednesday afternoon. Currently in downtown Seattle, cloudy skies and 50 degrees. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Welcome. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Gee is out today. Angela Poe Russell is in. We are in hour number 3. How you doing?
I'm doing great, and this has been so much fun.
It really has been. I've been really enjoying our conversations, and if you missed any part of our show, including top stories, latest going on with the war and our thoughts on that, or our interview with former State Attorney General Rob McKenna, just a reminder that we have a podcast, and you can always pick up our show again anywhere that you listen to podcasts or on mynorthwest.com. But coming up at 11:30, we are going to have Agree to Disagree. And one of the questions we're going to be asking is there something to be said about underachieving? And I'm so glad that you here are, Angela. I mean, that you are here, because underachieving doesn't seem like anything that would be in your vocabulary.
It is not, but it's very tempting.
I know.
It's very tempting. I'm listening.
Okay. 888-973-5476. 888-973. KIRO is the Muckleshoot Casino Resort text line.
top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
It seems like every day we talk about AI. Artificial intelligence is here. It's reshaping one of the biggest decisions that young people have to make, and that is what should you study in college? A new study from the Lumina Foundation and Gallup actually finds 1 in 6 college students has already changed their major because of concerns about AI and the job market. And nearly half, about 47% of all college students say they've given at least a fair amount of consideration to changing their majors because of AI. And, think about that. You're talking about students who are pivoting midstream, trying to guess which career is going to survive, which ones might get automated. I don't think there's been a day that someone hasn't talked to me about AI in some form or another in the last year.
It is integrated into everything we do almost.
Yes.
And here's what I find fascinating. All of these tech people on their podcasts and their speeches, they're like, we will need humanities and psychology, and we're going to need that more than ever. And there's a part of me that's just like, you're lying. There's a part of me that doesn't believe them. Just like in other words, I do personally find value in those majors 100%, like philosophy, math, I find value. At the same time, when it comes to getting a job, I don't know that their take on this is not one of manipulation. For some reason, I just don't find myself taking their point of view at face value.
Well, and I think it's because we have been conditioned not to value those particular degrees. I mean, how many times do you say, well, that's a guarantee for you to work at Starbucks, or, that kind of dismissal of, hey, if I'm going to get a humanities degree, if I'm going to study philosophy, well, good luck getting a job. You're going to be, I don't think you're going to get more. So now it's a reverse. They're saying, do this because in an AI-driven world,
we're going to need
it's
this.
More going to be.
And of course, I agree, but there's just a part of me that feels like, why are they telling us this?
Yes.
I just think of all the times in life where we've had people in power tell us one thing and do another, and we're fooled and things like that.
So you, as mom of a college-bound kid and a college-age student, what do you tell your daughters?
Okay, there's the angel on one shoulder and the devil on the other, right? On one hand, I'm thinking be smart about it. Like one of them wants to be a doctor. That sounds like a great plan. But I'm thinking, what kind of doctor? I don't know how radiology is going to be. Right now, they're already having AI be able to read these, the x-rays and things like that. So I'm just wondering how much is going to be, you always need someone.
In the case of AI in the medical field, my opinion only, I mean, I just saw a doctor last week and we were talking about how she's retiring. Another one of my doctors is retiring. Mm-hmm. And we were talking about the absence of people wanting to go into medical school, or the people are going into the medical field, or they go in and then they burn out and get out.
Yeah.
And so I think if your daughter wants to become a doctor, my opinion would be that in many ways AI would help some of the things that are driving doctors away. And maybe someone in the medical field can correct me, but some of the complaints that I hear about all the time is like they get so bogged down with the administrative junk that they have to do that they lose that relationship with the patient.
Right. Yeah, that's a good point.
And then not to mention some of the things in terms of research and how much faster that research. I mean, when you go to the doctor's office, sometimes I will see the doctor actually, get on the computer and be looking at, okay, would this drug, be good for this, that, or the other thing? And I look at AI as something that could enhance, at least in the medical field, and change and maybe improve, I hope. Yeah. But there are other industries that are just getting wiped out.
Yeah.
So I think that, if your daughter's wanting to go into that, she's still safe.
Yeah. And the other one, I mean, in general, I want them to pursue something that they're curious about. And that's where I struggle. I want to tell the kid, like, follow your passion and be courageous. And at the end of the day, if you're talking about paying for a degree, don't go in debt over it, right? I mean, that's a big piece of it. So I want to talk about college for a minute.
Yes.
Because there is this new phenomenon that's happening. You were talking about the AI impact. Well, here's something else that's happening. More colleges and universities are having to merge or straight up shut down. According to data collected by the State Higher Education Executive Officers Association, I did not know that existed, approximately 312 colleges and universities granting at least associate degrees or higher closed from 2008 to 2024. And since the pandemic, it's happening at a faster pace. About 60 are closing on average a year. Part of this, there are many reasons, but the major ones, declining enrollment and financial struggles. So being able to stay afloat as fewer people want to come to your place and maybe pay that money. A report in Fast Company said that the college industry is becoming K-shaped, meaning prestigious universities seeing higher demand while smaller, lesser-known schools shutting down. And let me just give you a few examples. So Vanderbilt in Nashville, Tennessee, booming, an acceptance rate of 2.8%, 49,000 applicants. Duke, 60,000 applications, 4% acceptance rate. So everyone consolidating, trying to go to these other few schools,
so-called elite
and
schools.
these other schools shutting down. Willamette, right there in Portland, just announced a merger. That's going to be, they announced
Salem,
it at the end of last year. Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Actually, my son went.
It's going to be called, the new college is going to be called the University of the Northwest, I think. It's a merger. Yeah, it's a merger. It's happening.
So, well, and what do you make of that? Because I'm seeing now where these colleges, the ones that have been built up as these elite colleges, are getting so many applications and having this yield rate that is so low.
You're going to hate me.
Yes.
Because I think it's social media. I think once again, I'm blaming social media. I'm going to tell you why. People have made an experience of, oh, this school, this thing, this, you have to have this, right? It's the whole FOMO. Oh my goodness, if I don't go here, then I'm not going to get this. And it creates this craze. I mean, I saw a girl get accepted to this one school, and I have never seen anything like it in terms of just building the social around it with the swag. And I've got the glasses and the cup and the blanket and the pillow and the kitty cat. And so I think it's this fantasy. It's become now fantasy and lifestyle. What do you think, Sophia?
I mean, yeah, I think that plays into it. And the whole idea of social media influencers, you know, having an impact on what you buy, you're buying into college, and that also is playing into it. And if you see someone having this fantasy land of a college experience, it might influence young people to want to go to certain places or live a certain life.
I think you're right. I just was thinking, have you seen those videos where it's the same build-up music? The whole family's looking at the kid who's looking at their acceptances, and you've seen that, right? I mean, where they have
I seen it, Ursula? Come on, this is
I know.
like
It's like I know, and exactly. I think that does put that added pressure. But this has been going on long before that. This has been going on even before social media. This is, I mean, imagine social media wasn't as big when my sons were trying to enter college. And I just remember this feeling like amongst the parents, it was so much about, hey, you know, what scores did you get? You know, blah, blah, blah. What scholarships, blah, blah, blah. What schools are they getting into? Which schools? It was like bragging rights. Didn't even need social media. And then this idea, and the schools advertised that whole idea of, we only accepted 5% and your child is one of them.
And they intentionally drive up the application.
Absolutely.
But here's the deal, y'all. If we want this to change, we have to change it. My daughter pointed out, she was telling people a few schools she was choosing between, and they're, you know, smaller, lesser known, you know, it's not Harvard or Yale, right?
Yeah.
And she said, Mom, they don't have a reaction that's favorable. And so she said, I feel like if I would have said to them Harvard, they would have been like, oh, you know, but I said those schools, and they just have this flat look on their faces. And so listen, talk to anyone with a degree from one of those schools, and they will tell you as soon as they tell people where they went to school, they get a reaction. I mean, my older daughter went to Lakeside. She noticed it. Every time she said Lakeside, people would just be like, oh my God. And so if we want that to change,
but
then
how does
we have
that
to change.
Yeah, how?
I think all of us as individuals kind of making a decision that you can get a good education at a lot of places.
Yes. I mean, and a lot of that comes from us and the influencing we do on a show like ours, which, I can tell you that I have two sons. One went to what was considered...
It's pretty elite, UCLA,
elite,
right?
Yeah, and then the other one who went to Boulder, which had a 80% or 70% college admission rate. And the one who went to UCLA will tell you, after college, it's essentially what you do with wherever you go to college and the connections you make.
Yeah, but we can't deny there is a good old boy system out. In certain careers, they choose each other and they pick each other. I think you can overcome it no matter what background or college you go to. But I don't want to ignore that some of these elite circles, you see it in the media. I'm going to say it. Fox News was not wrong sometimes when they would say the elite media. They were not wrong.
Yeah, I think you make a good point.
There are some. That's why look at how the people who've been presidents and where they went to school. There's I don't want to be
cachet that goes along with. Absolutely. So, and we keep buying into it.
Yeah, we keep buying into it. Okay.
I want to talk about the Mariners and
oh
Nick,
my gosh, yes.
Nick, I need to bring you in.
Yeah, because this news broke on last Friday, I think.
Yes.
Like near the end of the show. It was crazy.
It did. So we did not get a chance to talk about the unveiling of the statue honoring Ichiro Suzuki. But all I know is that everyone in the newsroom was freaking out. And it was Ken Griffey Jr. and who else was pulling off the tarp?
I know Griffey was there and Ichiro was there to watch. I'm not sure about the other players. Maybe Edgar was there, but Rick Riz was the one announcing, all right, let's release the statue and take off the curtain,
Yes.
And as they were taking it off, snap goes Ichiro's bat on the statue. And it was a pretty awkward scene. And Rick Riz had to play it off, saying he hit a foul ball and it broke his bat. Still got a base hit.
Well, and the metaphors were plenty.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Because up until Friday, the Mariners were kind of on a losing streak.
Yeah, and if you went on social media after that happened, before they played this series this last weekend, a lot of people were saying, well, that's just typical Mariners, Maybe it could be an omen for them for more bad things to come, but... On the contrary,
yes,
they've won 3 in a row at home and have a chance to sweep the Astros this afternoon. So maybe it was a blessing in disguise. Who knows?
And I was going to say, and we need to talk about that because already, and to Gee's credit, he did not want to talk about it, but I couldn't help that everyone in the newsroom was talking about like what is happening with the Mariners, and is this bad mojo because of that interaction with Cal Raleigh and the other player, and his name is escaping
Josh
me.
Naylor, Julio Rodriguez.
Well, no. But during the other baseball event earlier this year,
there was another. Oh, remember? Randy Arozarena.
Yes,
there was some drama with the handshake between him and Cal Raleigh,
thing.
And maybe that was a curse for the season. But they've seemed to turn things around this weekend, taking advantage of Houston, who's been struggling pitching wise. So. They've been scoring a lot of runs these last 3 days, and hopefully it's a rally for the lineup to be getting better things going ahead. So the statue breaking, hopefully, fingers crossed, won't be more bad things to come. I feel like they're starting to turn things around. Yeah, I think it could be a turnaround rather than an omen.
You can't make this stuff up.
No.
You can't make this stuff up. The tarp, I didn't see the video live, but it sounds like the tarp, they go to unveil it and then crack.
And then you could see Ken Griffey was like,
it was pretty uncomfortable for him. He put his hand in his face and he was like going into the shoulder of the guy next to him, like, oh no, how could this happen? But they quickly fixed it, and it's the statue's looking pretty good now, and Ichiro seems to be pretty happy about it so far.
It's a memorable experience.
Yes, another memorable experience. So I want to mention, I went to my first Kraken game.
Oh, the energy. How did you like it?
Wow, they know how to do it right. So Climate Pledge Arena, first of all, I think you can't get a much better place.
Yes.
To play hockey, to play basketball. That is really awesome. And we were actually invited by Amazon.
Okay.
So Mark and I went, and we won. Kraken won. So, I know they haven't had a great season, but just the energy. That place was full.
Yes.
Even with a losing season, that place was full.
Yes. They definitely have built a community there.
Yes.
And, the music, the vibes, it's really cool.
Yeah.
So I'm glad you went and had a good time.
Yeah. And finding out a little bit more about, the whole climate pledge thing.
Yes.
And, the idea of the ice being collected, I believe it's collected rainwater and recycled. And all that's really cool.
Yeah.
So
and,
trying to learn a little bit more about
and
that.
it's so funny. I remember when the naming first happened and everyone was like, what is this name?
Yes.
And it's amazing how it's kind of sunk in.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, climate pledge. It's a reminder of kind of part of the mission.
Yes.
And I think that's great.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, still ahead, we do Agree to Disagree. This is the Gee and Ursula Show.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. KIRO Newsradio.
Get on the YouTube channel.
We're live all day on YouTube. Every show, every day.
Hang out with us. The whole gang's there.
And you never know what you might see.
Back up the camera. Oh, my God.
Just search KIRO Newsradio, then subscribe.
The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day for baseball.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. Case in point, your ticket might be for the view level, but it's more like Skyline City. Up here, it's hard to say what'll take your breath away first. The gorgeous Seattle sunsets or the spectacular views of every incredible play. If you like value with the view, it's the perfect place to take quality time with the family to a whole new level. Literally.
A bases clearing, 3-run double. Everybody on their feet here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' upcoming schedule is packed with epic events. Be here for Kingdom Fanny Pack Hat Night on Friday, thanks to Global Credit Union. Cal Raleigh 70s Jersey Night on Saturday, thanks to Virginia Mason Franciscan Health. And Randy Johnson Number Retirement Night May 2nd, presented by T-Mobile. Get your tickets at mariners.com.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit walottery.com. Who benefits to learn more.
Thanks for calling CM Heating.
Aren't you the company that gives away free furnaces?
That's us. Buy a qualifying high-efficiency cooling system and the furnace is free.
Wow.
Yeah, and our home comfort advisors are tax credit and rebate specialists, so they'll handle the rebate for you.
Go to CM Heating for better comfort, lower bills, and a free furnace you'll love for years. Get your free estimate for furnace replacement at cmheating.com. And remember, for furnaces, fireplaces, hot water, and total home comfort, including electrical, there's no beating CM Heating.
Aetna was there for me as I was going through a rough medical patch this year. I had peace of mind, which helped with my healing.
Those words from a real Aetna Medicare Advantage member speak to why U.S. News & World Report named us a best Medicare Advantage company. Because we show up on calls with members and doctors' offices when requested. We show up with the latest in online tools for easier access to healthcare. We show up for you. Because that's how healthier happens together. Member feedback has been edited for length and clarity.
Ever notice how everyone has their own idea of clean?
Yeah, your clean desk still has 3 coffee cups.
Yeah, but clean energy is simple. It means no carbon emissions.
And that's what nuclear energy delivers, while providing steady, reliable electricity.
Those big white clouds above a nuclear power plant? Just water vapor, like warm breath on a cold day.
Nuclear energy provides 10% of Washington's electricity, all without adding carbon to the air.
Learn more at energy-northwest.com.
Energy Northwest, powering our clean energy future.
I'm Bradley Johnson with 1-800-DUI-AWAY, and I want to talk to you about baseball. It's game day. The stadium roof is open. Our club's putting up a fight. They're cold brews in hand. But outside, the police are getting ready to spot fans trying to steal their home base. Maybe the night threw you a curveball. An officer made an error. Or perhaps the bases weren't the only thing loaded. At 1-800-DUI-AWAY, we know it's not 3 strikes, it's 1 strike. And you're facing the Grand Slammer. 1-800-DUI-AWAY is here to help, even if we have to go into overtime. So call 1-800-DUI-AWAY or go to 1-800-DUI-AWAY.com to set up your free private consultation. When you're on defense, it's full count, bottom of the 9th. You want your closing pitcher on the mound. 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
1-800-DUI-AWAY.
LifeLock, how can I help?
The IRS said I filed my return,
But I haven't.
1 in 4 tax-paying Americans has paid the price of identity fraud.
What do I do?
My refund, though.
I'm freaking out.
Don't worry, I can fix this.
LifeLock fixes identity theft guaranteed and gets your money back with up to $3 million in coverage.
I'm so relieved.
No problem. I'll be with you every step of the way.
1 in 4 was a fraud-paying American. Not anymore. Save up to 40% your first year with promo code NEWS at LifeLock.com. Terms apply.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Hey, this is Jake Skorheim, and you know what they say, April showers bring May clogged and overflowing gutters. However, Valentine Roofing, they've got you covered. Right now, you can bundle and save 10% off your entire job when you add new gutters to any new roofing project. Plus, with flexible financing available and payments as low as $159 a month, Valentine makes it easy. Schedule your free roofing and gutter estimate today to bundle and save 10%. Just call 206 Roofing. That's 206 Roofing. And remember, when you see the red Valentine van, you know your home is in good hands.
Digging in my yard, trying to lay a pipe. I hit a water line and now I have to pay a big fine. I should have called 811.
It's difficult to trust someone with your loved one's care. Aegis Living earns your trust every single day. Voted best senior living in Western Washington and ranked #1 senior living community in all of America by Seniorly. Aegis sets the standard for luxury assisted living and award-winning memory care. Resort-style comfort with state-of-the-art AI fall prevention, a staff who loves what they do, and your loved ones. Schedule a tour today at aegisliving.com/KIRO. That's AEGIS living.com/KIRO and get a special take-home gift. Aegis Living. This must be the place.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm John Repp. President Donald Trump says the U.S. blockade of the Strait of Hormuz began at 10 a.m. this morning. The announcement of the action came after talks in Pakistan over the weekend ended without a deal. John Alterman is a global and geostrategist with the Center for Strategic and International Studies.
I think the Trump administration is ill-advised to try to make the Iranians cry uncle. The Iranians are willing to negotiate all these things, even the issue of nuclear enrichment. They want the acknowledgement of the right, exercising the right.
There's no word on whether those negotiations that stalled will resume. And the conflict in Iran is affecting more than just oil prices. KIRO News Radio's Luke Ducey reports the war is dampening tourism demand, specifically with the World Cup in Seattle.
Just a couple of months away from kickoff, and tourism officials are expecting a nearly 10% drop in revenue for shops, hotels, and restaurants. According to the Seattle Times, fewer foreign visitors because of the U.S. conflict with Iran. And with negotiations stalled and crude oil rising again, Patrick DeHaan with Gas Buddy says
things are about to start going back up again with oil prices surging.
Visit Seattle says the 6 World Cup matches here in Seattle will still bring in $846 million and create 20,000 jobs. Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
Everett police say a man broke into a home and stabbed 3 people this morning. 2 of the victims are in critical condition at Providence Medical Center. Investigators say the 24-year-old suspect knocked on the door at about 9 this morning and after getting no response, forced his way inside and began the attack. He was restrained until deputies arrived. New safety improvements could be on the way for Seattle's Gasworks Park after a 15-year-old fell to his death last year when he was climbing the structures. The Seattle Times reports that the city's Department of Construction and Inspections issued an order to remove unsafe ladders, catwalks, and piping from the historic towers or face a lawsuit and fines. On Wall Street at this time, the Dow is up 70 points, the S&P 500 up 31 as well, and the NASDAQ up 152 points at this hour. KIRO News Radio traffic. Here's Lori Hardy.
Traffic is brought to you by Home Comfort Alliance. Everett to Seattle now, just a 3-minute delay. You're mostly slow from about Lake City Way on into downtown. You're going to see a little bit of a northbound 5 slowdown right past 520. Linwood to Bellevue, a 10-minute slowdown at 26 minutes. Heading into Seattle from Federal Way, just about a minute delay. And Federal Way to Bellevue will take you 25 minutes. And of course, northbound 5 into Bellingham still closed through the 16th of this month. Considering the new Lennox cooling system before the summer heat wave? Well, get a price estimate on your phone in 60 seconds from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit homecomfortalliance.com now. I'm Lori, KIRO Real-Time Traffic.
Thank you, Lori. Cloudy skies for your forecast today. Temperatures hovering in the 50s for the rest of the day. Tomorrow, a high of just 49. Rainy, breezy, and then scattered showers on Wednesday with thunderstorms likely. Currently, some light rain, 51 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm John Repp, KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
Happy Monday to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Of course, it's time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves and just really go at it.
Okay, so it's Coachella week, and as the self-proclaimed Gen Z pop culture expert, I felt as if it was my duty to bring it up. So we're going to talk about it. The coveted music festival in the desert was on everyone's mind this past weekend because it was the first weekend of Coachella this past weekend, and then they do a second weekend, and it's featuring lots of popular mainstream artists. The biggest ones that people were paying attention to was Sabrina Carpenter on Friday and Justin Bieber on Saturday. And now this music festival is fueling a sort of sexism debate. On Friday night, Sabrina's performance featured layers of costumes. She had like 5 or 6 costume changes, backup dancers, sets, and a storyline. Versus Justin Bieber, he got onto stage with a laptop, and it was really impactful because he sang a lot of songs that he hadn't performed in like a decade, and people were really excited about it, and he is a huge global superstar, and he reportedly was one of the most highly paid Coachella performers ever, grossing over $10 million for that weekend. And now people are saying that just wouldn't fly for a female performer. A female artist is giving full effort, high notes, fireworks, outfits. And Justin Bieber, who is the highest paid Coachella performer, is now sitting in a plain tee on a laptop, has YouTube up. And my question for you guys is, do you think this is a fair comparison to hold him to, or are women performers held to a higher standard?
Do you want to start?
I'll let you go.
I don't know that at this juncture in Justin Bieber's career it is a fair comparison, because Justin Bieber's been around longer than Sabrina Carpenter. And also, Sabrina Carpenter, that has been her whole shtick. A lot of it is the costume change. A lot of it is, I mean, she's musical. I think she's very talented. She's beautiful. But her music is built upon all those images. And so people going would think, okay, this is not the Sabrina Carpenter that I've been feeding into. Whereas Justin Bieber, I mean, I remember he used to have much more elaborate shows where he would do a lot of dancing and there would be dancers all around him. So for him to, I don't think that's a fair comparison. But do I think in general, many female performers have to work harder and have to do more of the show? I think an argument could be made, but I stopped because I also just thought of, well, there are performers, male performers, like the late Prince or Michael Jackson or Bruno Mars, who do put on a big show. Mm-hmm. And you would be disappointed if they didn't put on a big show. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. I mean, ultimately, I think maybe there's some argument there, but I don't think it holds that much.
You know, my take is don't start something you can't finish. And if, to Ursula's point, if she started out and built her brand focused on looks and the moves and the show, then I think that she has to finish that. And, sorry, did you want to say something?
Oh, no, you can finish, but I do have something to add.
Oh, okay. Then, and then, you know, Justin Bieber, he's paid his dues. You know, he's been in this a long time. He's paid his dues. He can do what he wants. He can, you know, conduct the show. He's paid his dues there. One of the best shows I ever attended, it was Beyonce and Alicia Keys. And Beyonce had the big show, and she did the lights and the set. And Alicia, all she did was a piano, and it was the most amazing show.
Yes.
So I think we need to allow. I think that we are, as a society, are open to women performers being the way they want to be, but I think you have to, as the artist, decide you want that and present it.
Well, I mean, I think that's interesting because I think the number, and both of you make a really great point, but I think the argument is that women are more heavily criticized for not putting on a show. Whereas a man, you might be like, oh, I expected a show. But people, when they're talking about Bruno Mars, they're talking about like, he's fun to see and we love his music. And it might not be as much of a topic about what he's wearing, right? Versus Sabrina Carpenter, there's multiple news reports just about her outfits, right? And I hear what you're saying. She built that brand. Yes. But in her defense, she's been working at this for a very long time. And people don't know that. Like many women musicians. And only after she created this brand and persona did she kind of pick up in the mainstream market with some sort of fame. So I think that's kind of the argument that people are making.
And I know it's, to me, to some degree, it's like trying to find a problem in that particular situation. Mike in Portland correctly says Justin Bieber's brand has always been kind of a I don't really give a crap. And so I just think that comparison doesn't hold. Now, I was thinking of, though, a couple of other performers. You mentioned Alicia Keys, who I think is a fantastic performer. Another contemporary one is Kelly Clarkson doesn't do a whole lot of extra. I mean, it's like her voice. It's not about her outfits or whatever.
And India Ari, kind of a similar thing.
Yes, or
But-
Sheryl Crow.
Yes.
So there are a number, Natalie Merchant. I was just thinking, like, there are a number of female artists who it's just about their music.
Yeah. I will say this in general, though. I mean, if you just look at culturally, when you hear men say, why don't you smile more, and say that to a woman, I do think that those things are going to always exist.
Yes.
And I think it's unfortunate that women artists feel they have to show a little to get attention or to get the clicks.
Yes. I had someone bring up when I was having this conversation with someone, Rihanna's Super Bowl performance, how everyone was so critical that she wasn't dancing more, performing. And people were like, well, she was pregnant. She was putting on a show and she had her vocals and she was doing the whole thing. But people were like, well, it's the Super Bowl, it's a show. And so, that's something that I've seen over and over again. But it's a good perspective either way. Okay, we're going to switch gears. And I'm going to ask you guys, do you think we need to empower underachievers? Now, hear me out. There is a lot of pressure to always go above and beyond, especially on the parenting level. A guest essay writer in the New York Times points out that there is a lot of pressures put on parents to make sure that their kids are always seeming at their best, have the best project, the best snacks, the best look. But let's face it, most parents are tired, overburdened, and probably not that crafty, but are stuck in a system that if they don't help their kids do enough, they won't be seen as enough. Now, as two women who we have fully established are overachievers in your own right, is there power in encouraging our youth and young parents alike to just cool down and not be doing too much?
I'm going to say it depends on the child. And I, as a whole, would never say try to underachieve. My advice would always be do your best, give it your best, do your, you only have one chance to make a great impression. That all said, I also know of kids who are such overachievers that they are so extremely anxiety-ridden, paralyzed with fear for making a mistake, and are not willing to take risks because of that fear of failure. If you know what I mean, Angela. And I'll be honest, there was a point in time where my oldest son thought any little mistake was going to hurt his chance of getting into his dream college. And I had to tell him to like, and you can't tell someone to chill when they're not chilled. But I had to encourage him and keep reminding him that sometimes your biggest amount of growth is when you deal with failure. And it's not if you fail, but it's how you pick yourself up after you've had that moment.
Yeah, I think for me, it's a matter of authenticity. And if you are a person, like if I'm a mother talking to my kid and I know that this activity could help them for college, if it's not something authentically they want to do, then no. Like, let's find something that you authentically want to do. and let other places, people pick up what you're putting down, because there's nothing worse than doing something just for something to overachieve. And then you get there and then like, okay, it wasn't even you. And so, okay, y'all are looking at me like I'm strange.
Well, I'm trying to, no. I'm trying to understand. And I think I understand in that this idea of telling your loved one, hey, it's okay to underachieve. I just don't see those words ever coming out of your mouth.
Not underachieve, but what I do say, I have had my daughter, I've had said to her, like, it's okay to get a B.
Yes.
Like, I actually have said that.
I've had to have that conversation too.
To get a B. Like, it's okay. I mean, and you have to know your person, but I can't imagine, but it's always do your best.
Yes.
Do your best. And I've always told them, go above and beyond, leave places better than you found them.
Yes.
You just have to stick to your values. And so, but yes, I do think some people could use a little underachieving. And I think it's how you look at underachieving. And for me, it's being authentic as opposed to just climbing a ladder for the sake of doing it.
Oh, that's a great point. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Okay, we hear you, and our words to live by coming up next. I could see
the Gee and Ursula Show.
There's two types of people. One's that use a washcloth. The other are bare hand bandits.
Hate to break it to you, but
Ursula, you a bare hand bandit?
Weekdays 9 to noon. Watch live on YouTube.
I had pain. I had numbness in my feet. That pain and that numbness just got worse and worse and worse as time went on.
This is Greg describing life with neuropathy.
I went to 5 podiatrists, tried different treatments, tried different orthotics, tried different shoes, had cortisone shots in the tops and the bottoms of my feet. Saw a neurologist. All my medical doctors said, can't help you. Live with the pain. You're not going to be able to sleep. This is your life. And then I just gave up until I found Sound Pain Solutions.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, drug and pain-free procedures that help neuropathy sufferers like Greg find relief.
I feel better. I mean, just feeling better is huge.
If you experience numbness, shooting or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
If you don't care about saving 50% off your wireless bill for the same 5G coverage the big guys are charging a fortune for, maybe you care about keeping jobs in America. Pure Talk does. They've pledged to run their entire operation from this country, including all their customer service. Or maybe you care about our nation's veterans. Pure Talk does. They've donated hundreds of thousands of dollars to America's Warrior Partnership, a fantastic organization working hard to prevent veteran suicide. Or maybe you care about closing America's skills gap. Pure Talk does. They're a proud supporter of MicroWorks. They're helping my foundation train the next generation of skilled workers. Don't get me wrong. Saving money's great, and you'll save plenty with Pure Talk. But if you want to be in business with people who share your values, dial pound 250. Say micro, and switch to an American wireless company that actually stands for something. Pure Talk.
Progressive knows that for business owners, vacations hit different. But hey, at least you finally took a vacation. And look at that. You only answered 53 calls, 84 emails, onboarded 1 new hire, and covered for Chris while he's out on paternity leave, and you did it all from a kayak. Because you, my friend, know how to relax. All right, you may not know how to take a day off, but you do know both your personal and business auto insurance needs can be covered in one place with Progressive. So at least that's relaxing, right? Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates, not available in all states or situations.
Help DEA keep our communities safe and healthy by participating in National Prescription Drug Take-Back Day, Saturday, April 25th. Take action right in your own home by cleaning out your medicine cabinet of unneeded medications. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back. Find a collection site near you at DEATakeback.com. Do your part to lower overdose deaths and prevent prescription drug misuse before it starts. That's DEATakeback.com.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS4KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS4KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS4KIDS. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS4KIDS.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Running a small business means juggling a lot. Your network has to handle it all. That's where a fiber-only provider falls short. You need a partner who gives you a greater advantage. Introducing the Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A first-ever combination of the largest, fastest fiber-powered network, the most reliable Wi-Fi, gig speeds with equipment and security included, and a 5-year price lock. Plus, it's all backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee. The Total Solutions Advantage only from Comcast Business. A new standard for small business with reliability, security, and savings in one. Switch today. Get started with a great offer as low as $60 a month. When you add it all up, no one does business like Comcast Business.
Offer ends 6/1/26. New customers only. Requires 300 megabits per second internet and security edge. 1-year agreement, eco-bill, and autopay required. Equipment, taxes, and fees extra. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA Fixed Broadband Experience Report, May 2025.
Our local tax expert and advocate, Greg Nunn, understands the pressure that comes from owing money to the IRS. Don't let that pressure build. Call None Better Tax Resolution. From stress to success with IRS Solutions. Google NUNN. None Better Tax Resolution.
And just like that, we are at the end of the Gee and Ursula Show Monday edition with Angela Poe Russell. Gee is going to be back tomorrow. Angela, I want you to start off our messages.
Yes, we were talking earlier in the show about the World Cup maybe not being the big boon that we thought it might be for the U.S. 206 says, I have a VRBO with only 1 2-day reservation for the whole World Cup visit. Where is everyone? Our VRBO generates over $12,000 in extra lodging tax last year. This summer is a disaster so far. European family is absolutely boycotting USA.
Oh, man. Yeah, people were talking about, if you live in the Seattle area, you might want to rent your house. Okay, Adrian and Buckley. We are from here and we own a house in Mexico. Exit plan after elderly parents are no longer a consideration. We feel safe down there, but purposely identify as Canadians rather than Americans when we are here. Or when we were down there.
Yeah. Okay. On No More Young Marriages, we're seeing just this decline. Sue in Seattle said, if I had to wait until I was grown up or knew what I wanted to do when I was an adult, I would have never gotten married. Been married 40 years, got married at 24.
971 says, married for almost 18 years, didn't have my life together, and neither did my husband. We found each other and wanted to figure it out together. Also, us working together financially has been our greatest wealth building tool.
That's a
Which
great
is a point that you were also saying, too.
Yeah, the idea that, of course, you want someone to be mature enough to be responsible and things like that. But this, the notion of let's grow together versus I'm already grown and now we're going to, make it it's two different schools of thought.
Yes.
Ty and Milton, some of it is the economy, though. Many aren't moving out of their family homes and they're staying longer than they used to. In 84, I was 16, working, taking care of myself, and married for the first time when I was 18. That was not a smart move, but it lasted 20 years.
And then Dinah in Everett says, I think everyone should think about having children. They are a blessing, and I was not in a great financial position when I had kids, and I made it through. Wouldn't change having children. They are awesome, and the grandchildren are even better.
Woo. All right, so your relationship stories. Josh in Auburn, I love talking about how I met my wife. Met her in 2008 on Rainbow Six Vegas 2, an Xbox game. She was really good. We bonded while defending an area.
There he goes on to say they were long distance for years, but then now they're going to mark their 18th anniversary together.
That's sweet.
Robin Squim says, in June of 1993, I helped a friend with her daughter's wedding. At the reception, I went in line for the bouquet toss. I caught it. In November of 1993, I met my husband. We've been married 28 years. You go, girls, with your projects. It's wonderful.
I love it. On staying close to an ex's family, this was scenarios. Should you stay in touch with the family? Rob, this was one of the problems with my last breakup. She lived 2 hours away, and every time I visited, I stayed with her sister and brother-in-law. We got really close, and they're really cool. When Emily broke up with me, I lost them too.
Oh, and Rob is such a nice guy. I love Rob. Okay, Justin in Tacoma says, on another subject, I hang with my friends' parents sometimes. My friends have awesome families. Actually, I visit my former girlfriend still and her parents to support and to catch up and see if they need assistance. We're all great friends. Obviously, the break was mutual and on good terms. That was about 4 years ago. See, you know what? If it works out, it works out. But in this case, in the scenario, they're like, yeah, this is not going to work out.
This is not working out.
This is not comfortable.
All right, so now is it time for Ursula's words to live by? Let's do it.
Well, just talking about the idea of making mistakes and failing, this is a quote from Henry Ford who says, failure is simply the opportunity to begin again, this time more intelligently.
I love that. I love that.
It's not the end of the world. Just do it again.
I'll never forget one billionaire lady on CNBC. She's like, if I'm not failing, that means I'm not trying enough new things.
It's true. If you're too comfortable and you've never thought, okay, I'm out of my comfort zone, maybe you're living way too comfortably.
This wisdom.
Yes.
Sometimes experience is the best teacher, you know?
Yes, for sure. And Nick, take us out.
Well, sure, a lot of Gen Z kids are jumping through some hoops to pay off goodies like concert tickets to just stay in the loop. And it maybe breaks the bank sometimes to go through with those buys, but it's not as bad as Ichiro's broken bat for all the eyes.
Break it up, break it up, break it up!
And although underachieving can be put in better light, I don't think this Mariner gaff would fit the mold to be too bright. Not trying in high school sports, sure, that gets a pass, but sculpting a fractured statue at T-Mobile Park, I think that has a little bit more weight to it.
I love it. Thank you, Nick. Okay, just a quick reminder that if you want to be part of my new Ask Ursula column, you can email me at askursula@bonneville.com or go to mynorthwest.com/askursula. We're going to record a new one tomorrow, and we will have the second installment on Wednesday ready for you online. So thank you for all of those who have written in already. Angela, thank you. I love you. I hope you know
love
that.
you. Thanks for having me.
And I'm so thrilled with The Aviatrix, the story of Bessie Coleman.
Yes, May 15th. Yes. That's the day. 4 weeks. Oh, my gosh.
Yes. Still buy tickets. Sophia, thank you. Appreciate you. And Nick, thank you.
Thank you.
Jake and Spike are coming up next. Stay with us.
Hope you have as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
The John Curley Show.
If by like the 15th of October rolls around and suddenly there's a bolt of lightning and I croak out right there, I'm fine.
Weekdays 3 to 7.
My dream of growing a giant pumpkin is just a couple of months away. I know somebody who knows somebody who knows a guy who knows a guy who knows someone who got me the seed, the 1,500 pounder, baby. It's in a secret location. I don't want to say where it is.
Watch The John Curley Show live on YouTube.
I just can't dig it.
Dig what?
My water line.
Needs replacing?
And I don't want digging in my yard.
And maybe your driveway.
Can't dig it.
Don't dig it.
But how do you?
Apollo Plumbing replaces water lines without digging up your yard.
You're Dan.
From the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Apollo Plumbing.
Our trenchless technology replaces water and sewer lines.
Without digging up my yard?
2 little holes is all it takes.
Sounds better.
Faster, too.
And my yard?
Like we were never there.
Sounds spendy.
Not so much.
Oh?
In the end, about the same as that messy digging you don't want.
How do you figure?
Think about that landscaping you love.
Yeah?
Trenchless means you won't be paying to replace it.
Or my driveway.
We run everything underground.
Trenchless?
Do them all the time.
How about...
Easy payments?
Yeah.
With approved credit. Sure thing.
When can you get started?
We are the Ready Right Now plumbers.
Love that.
Apollo Plumbing, trenchless waterline replacement.
Sewer lines, too.
Can you dig that?
That I can.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
Washington's lottery gives out a lot of green to winners in schools and retailers awesomely. Nearly 600 mil to people that play. Another 180 mil to vocational training and education from preschool to college. Now you got the knowledge, a win-win for all of us. Play Washington lottery, lottery, lottery. Play Washington lottery, lottery, yeah.
Visit WaLottery.com. Who benefits to learn more?
Join the conversation and text your favorite show on the KIRO News Radio text line at 888-973-KIRO. That's 888-973-5476. Powered by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
You used to wake up ready to take on the world. Lately, not so much. The brain fog, the exhaustion, that feeling like you're just not you anymore. You're not imagining it, and you don't have to keep pushing through it. Hey, it's Manda Factor. At Juvacor Health and Wellness Center, hormone replacement therapy starts with something you won't find online. A real conversation, face-to-face, with a female provider who genuinely gets it. Led by Dr. Lucy Hostetter, a board-certified physician, her team has spent the last 7 years specializing in one thing, helping women feel like themselves again. It's what they do. Your care is driven by labs, by listening, and by a personalized treatment plan that's dialed into your body and your life. And they follow up, because this kind of care has to be personal. With convenient locations now in both Tacoma and Bellevue, Dr. Hostetter's practice has expanded from the flagship location, Seattle Regenerative Medicine Center in Bellevue, to Tacoma. You deserve a provider who makes the uncomfortable conversations comfortable. Reach out today. JuvaCoreHealth.com. Feel like yourself again.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products you need, delivered when and where you need them. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger.
Download to see if you qualify. Not all customers will qualify. Transfer fees may apply. No Albert subscription required. Albert is not a bank. Albert Instant Loans are issued by FinWise Bank, member FDIC. Not an actual client. Terms apply.
Kylie, what's wrong? I just got hit with a car repair bill. I'm behind on rent, and I feel like I can never save any money.
Have you tried the Albert app? Albert is your financial assistant, helping you find ways to save and create custom budgets to actually grow your money. Plus, you can get up to $10,000 for big expenses, or advance up to $1,000 fast when you need cash right away.
Albert can get me up to $10,000?
Exactly. Albert spots you in a pinch and helps you grow your money in the long run.
I'm downloading Albert right now.
Download the Albert app and use promo code GAIN to borrow up to $10,000 for whatever you need. The Albert app helps you budget better and save more money so you reach your financial goals faster. Download the Albert app right now and use promo code